Welcome to Module 9, the Agile Perspective, one of the most exciting and practical parts of your CBAP learning journey. Now pause and think. Have you ever been in a project where requirements changed so often it felt impossible to keep up? That's where Agile comes in, not to fight change, but to embrace it. Agile isn't just another process or methodology. It's a mindset, a way of thinking that helps teams deliver value continuously, even when the world around them keeps shifting. In this module, we'll explore how business analysis fits into the Agile world, how your role evolves, how you create value in smaller increments, and how collaboration replaces control. Because today, the only constant in business is change, and Agile is how we turn that change into opportunity. As you can see here, these are our learning goals for this module, 5 pillars that will help you become a truly agile business analyst. First, we'll understand the core concepts of Agile: adaptive planning, iterative delivery, and continuous improvement. Second, we'll explore the Agile mindset and principles, which shape every Agile team's culture and decision-making. Third, we'll define the role of the business analyst in Agile teams and how it's very different from traditional waterfall environments. Fourth, we'll practice key Agile techniques like user stories, story mapping, and backlog management. And finally, we'll look at how planning and validation work in an Agile setting: fast, flexible, and feedback-driven. By the end, you won't just understand Agile, you'll be able to speak its language confidently in real-world projects. As you can see on this slide, the Agile perspective describes how business analysis adapts to rapid change. Traditional methods assumed we could plan everything up front, but Agile acknowledges reality: things change. It says, let's start small, deliver something useful, learn from it, and adapt. Agile teams focus on delivering continuous value, not after 12 months, but every few weeks. For example, instead of waiting for a full product launch, a banking team might release a small feature, like balance viewing, and get instant feedback. Think of it like steering a boat. You don't set the course once and hope the ocean stays calm. You adjust continuously to stay on track. Agile is about staying responsive, not rigid, because in fast-changing industries, adaptability is success. As you can see here, there are 4 foundational ideas behind Agile business analysis. First, incremental delivery. We build and release in small, usable chunks. Each release delivers real value and feedback. For example, an e-commerce site might first enable browsing, then checkout, then order tracking, one step at a time. Second, collaboration over documentation. Agile replaces long requirement reports with active conversations and visuals. A 5-minute discussion on a whiteboard can save hours of rework. Third, continuous feedback. We don't wait until the end to check progress. Every sprint is an opportunity to refine understanding and adapt. Fourth, customer involvement. Customers aren't spectators, they're co-creators. Their feedback shapes every sprint and every design decision. So, in Agile, we move from deliver and forget to deliver, learn, and improve. That's true continuous value delivery. As you can see on this slide, Agile starts with a mindset, captured in the Agile Manifesto, written back in 2001. It's not about tools or frameworks, it's about values: people over processes, working software over documentation, collaboration over contracts, and responding to change over rigid plans. In traditional projects, success was measured by deliverables. In Agile, success is measured by delight. These values are supported by 12 Agile principles, all focused on customer satisfaction, flexibility, and team empowerment. Here's one I love: the best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. So if there's one thing to take away from this slide, remember, Agile isn't something you do, it's something you think. As you can see here, the business analyst's role in Agile is dynamic. You're not just documenting requirements, you're enabling value. You help the team and stakeholders stay aligned on what truly matters. That means collaborating daily with the product owner and developers, clarifying user stories and ensuring they deliver real business value, facilitating discussions that connect business goals to technical work, acting as a bridge between the why and the how. If you've ever spent weeks writing BRDs, Agile will feel refreshing because you'll spend that time collaborating and learning instead. Remember, Agile BAs lead through conversation and clarity, not control. As you can see on this slide, Agile relies on simple but powerful techniques. Let's start with user stories. Short, clear, and user-focused statements like, as a customer, I want to receive email notifications so I can track my order status. They describe who needs what and why, nothing more, nothing less. Then we have story mapping, a visual way to see the user journey. For example, a flight booking app might have steps like search, to A, select, pay, to affirm. This helps identify priorities and plan releases. And backlog management, the heartbeats of Agile. You continuously refine the backlog based on feedback and changing priorities. Remember the INVEST rule: independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, and testable. A good story checks all these boxes, and that's what makes Agile work so smoothly. As you can see here, Agile projects move in cycles: plan, build, review, improve. We start with sprint planning, deciding what can be achieved in the next sprint. The BA plays a key role here, clarifying scope and business value. During execution, the BA supports the team, answering questions, refining details, and ensuring that value remains the focus. Then comes the iteration review, where the team demonstrates what's being built and gathers feedback. Every review is a chance to learn and realign. And finally, the retrospective, the team's reflection time. What worked well? What can we improve? Think of each sprint like a short film. You plan, shoot, review, and learn before starting the next one. As you can see on this slide, Agile transforms how we gather and validate requirements. In traditional methods, elicitation was a one-time event. In Agile, it's continuous. It happens in every conversation, every sprint, every demo. Requirements emerge through collaboration, in daily stand-ups, in backlog refinement, in sprint reviews. Validation also happens constantly, through stakeholder feedback, acceptance criteria, and data-driven testing. In other words, you don't gather requirements, you grow them. That's the beauty of Agile. As you can see on this slide, Agile teams depend on a few essential artifacts, simple in design, but powerful in function. Let's unpack each one, and more importantly, see how a business analyst actually uses them in the real world. First, the product backlog. This is your big picture. It's not just a list of features, it's the story of what the business wants to achieve. Every item represents potential value. As a BA, your job is to make sure each backlog item connects clearly to a business goal. For example, if your product is a mobile banking app, a backlog item like Enable Biometric Login should directly map to customer convenience and security. Next, the sprint backlog. Think of it as a focused to-do list for your current sprint. It contains the stories your team has committed to delivering in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Here's where the BA steps in to clarify acceptance criteria, resolve ambiguities, and ensure that every story is small, testable, and valuable. Then, there's the burn-down chart, a visual tracker that shows how much work remains in the sprint. It helps the team see patterns. If progress flattens, it's an early warning sign. Maybe the team is blocked, or maybe the stories are bigger than expected. As a BA, you can use these trends to trigger the right conversations early, before problems grow. And of course, the definition of done. This isn't just a checklist, it's a shared promise of quality. When the whole team agrees on what done means, it eliminates confusion later. You can think of it like a team handshake. Everyone commits to the same standards before the work begins. Finally, let's talk about tools, the digital whiteboards of the Agile world. Whether you're using Jira, Azure DevOps, Trello, or Miro, these tools make collaboration visible. They help teams spread across time zones see the same picture, update progress, and stay in sync. Here's the big idea. Artifacts and tools are not bureaucracy. They're the heartbeat of transparency in Agile, helping everyone see, understand, and improve together. As you can see here, successful Agile business analysts follow a few timeless best practices, small actions that make a huge difference. Collaborate daily. Agile thrives on communication. That doesn't just mean attending meetings, it means being visible, approachable, and proactive. Check in with your developer for 5 minutes, or review priorities with the product owner mid-sprint. Those small touch points keep alignment strong. Focus on value. Every feature, every story, every meeting should tie back to value. When you ask, what business problem does this solve? You help the team focus on what matters. If you ever feel lost in details, come back to that one question. It's your compass. Use visuals. Replace long requirement documents with diagrams, workflows, and prototypes. A picture helps everyone see the same reality. For example, using a simple customer journey map can turn a confusing discussion into a shared understanding in minutes. Embrace change. Don't fear it. Use it. When a stakeholder says, "We've changed direction," that's your chance to reassess priorities and realign value. In Agile, change is not failure, it's feedback. Engage stakeholders continuously. Never disappear for weeks to finalize documentation. Instead, bring stakeholders into sprint reviews, demo sessions, and early conversations. That keeps trust alive and surprises low. And finally, reflect and improve. After every sprint, ask yourself, what did I learn and how can I be better next time? Maybe your story writing improved, or maybe communication could be clearer. Agile isn't about being perfect. It's about being a little better every sprint. The best Agile Bs I've met share one trait. They see themselves not as requirement gatherers, but as facilitators of understanding. They help teams see clearly, act confidently, and adapt gracefully. As you can see on this slide, let's bring these ideas to life with a practical example. Imagine you're a business analyst at a retail e-commerce company, and your mission is to improve the checkout process. It's too slow, and customers keep abandoning their carts. You begin by hosting a user story workshop with your product owner and customer support team. You learn that users find the payment step confusing, and many want a guest checkout option. You capture these insights as user stories, short, clear, and value-focused. Next, you prioritize the backlog using customer impact and business goals. Guest checkout comes first, while less urgent features move lower. This shows strategic thinking. You're not just building features, you're maximizing value. During the sprint planning meeting, you guide the discussion, clarifying what done looks like for each story. You ensure acceptance criteria are testable and measurable. Midway through the sprint, developers hit a blocker with payment gateway integration, and you facilitate a quick conversation between the tech lead and stakeholder, clearing the path. Then comes the sprint review. You demo the new checkout flow, and stakeholders are thrilled, but a customer rep notices one small friction point. You note it, add it to the backlog, and plan to refine it in the next sprint. After 3 sprints, data shows cart abandonment has dropped by 23%, and customer satisfaction has risen sharply. That's tangible value. And it doesn't agree with the retrospective. You reflect with the team. What worked? Communication improved. What could be better? Test coverage. That's Agile. Small, consistent wins built on collaboration, reflection, and adaptation. As a BA, your success here wasn't about writing perfect documents. It was about helping the team stay focused, make better decisions, and deliver real outcomes. As you can see on this final slide, Agile business analysis is a mindset shift, from control to collaboration, from output to outcome. Let's recap the journey. We started by exploring how Agile values people over processes, how conversations drive clarity, and how adaptability drives progress. We learned how a business analyst plays a central role, bridging vision and execution, ensuring that every sprint delivers meaningful value. We saw how artifacts like backlogs, burn-down charts, and the definition of done bring structure without rigidity. And through our example scenario, we experienced how Agile BAs lead through curiosity, communication, and collaboration. So, what's the real takeaway here? Agile isn't about rushing or cutting corners. It's about staying ready, ready to learn, ready to adapt, ready to deliver. As a business analyst, you're not just documenting change, you're enabling it. You help your team stay aligned, your stakeholders stay informed, and your organization stay responsive to the world outside. So carry this mindset forward, ask questions, seek feedback, and keep your focus on value, always. Because at the end of the day, Agile isn't about frameworks, it's about people working together to make change happen. Congratulations, you've completed Module 9, the Agile Perspective. Take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. And get ready to apply it in the next module, where we explore how to evaluate solutions and maximize business value.